Welcome to Speeches and Communications, and this part is about voice image. Last time we talked about the importance of voice image, and today we're going to talk about your personal voice image. Everyone needs to have a voice image, and that voice image is a special asset of yours, because until the last day we exist on the planet Earth, this is part of you. So last time we talked about a nation has a voice, a group has a voice, a family has a voice, a city has a voice. But now I'm talking about, at the very beginning, the first lesson, we talked about voice is uniquely human. Animals do not have voices. But now I want to say that your voice is uniquely your own voice. People don't have to see you. They hear you from a distance. They say, hey, Manling is coming. You know? Very important part of it, as we mentioned earlier. Then it has to be beautiful. And then people said, no, I don't have a beautiful voice. But let me tell you, you need to tell me or tell yourself, what sort of voices do you want? How you want to be heard? Are you aware that you have a voice image? Do you know this is your voice? How many of you have recorded your own voice and listened to it? So go home, record your own voice, play it, listen to it. Tell yourself you like it. First of all, is this my voice? Because nobody is familiar with our own voice if played from outside. So when we hear our own voices, it's transmitted from our cheekbones in our head, our own music instrument, as I said. So we listen to our own voices. We got familiar with our own voices from within. It's not from the outside. Then ask yourself, do I like it? If yes, congratulations. If no, think about where you can improve. For example, some of the actors and actresses, their voice. Listen to them. If that's the voice you want, you look for your own voices and try to train to reach that voice model we call. But let me tell you, all these voice images, they're so beautiful, right? But if you play now, they become obsolete. They're old style. So the images of voice changes with time. Take as an example how broadcasters are broadcasting. If you play a tape 20 or 30 years ago, sounds very different from today. And I think our broadcasters like Fang Ming, Ya Kun, radio broadcasters, Fang Ming used to be very passionate, high pitch. And then now he, at his age, very respected, he's lowering down a little bit. Because we have very good machines now. We don't need to, amplify our voices to penetrate, to reach. So voices change according to time, according to content, according to the roles you play, according to where you are. So when you talk to different people, your voice changes. It's not the quality of your voice change, but the final product, as I said. Lesson 1 says, 音色, the basic material of my voice, I do not change. Still me. But the volume, the tone, the manner carried in your voice changes. So this is what I mean. If you find your own voice, you like it, stick to it. If you find your voice not so good, and you want to change, you listen to the next lesson. I'm going to tell you how to change it a little bit. But you need to, I use the word GPS because in Chinese we call 定位. And in English we can say define. Define your own voice. Make it relatively fixed. Although I have been insisting or stressing that voices changes according to the role you play, content, and environment. Even, if you're speaking in a large, very spacious room, you're going to raise your pitch, right? Volume. So these are all the voices. The final voice is the voice image you deliver. Is it beautiful? It is practical. As I said, we have cavities, all the tunnels. These are material means our body, flesh, bone, everything. All the cavities. And they make resonance. So use them well. According to location, according to the environment, according to what content you're talking about. So this lesson is about GPS your own voice. Find the voice. We have 3 stages. One, first is the stage you doubt about it. Is this my voice? I sound beautiful. That's congratulations, finally. But let me tell you, nobody is satisfied with their own voice at the very beginning because you're not familiar. But you play it once, twice, third time, fourth, and if you still conclude, I can accept it. This is my voice. Sounds good. So congratulations, you find your voice image already there. But then if it's less, then we make it, more, right? GPS your voice, find it, don't forget it. But largely, voices are divided into 2 categories usually. One is according to your roles. If you work as a diplomat, you know how a diplomat should talk. Okay, let me tell you my personal story, which is I used to be a teacher. So face 30, 40, in a large classroom. So when I became a broadcaster, I started to broadcast. And the next day, a senior broadcaster came to me. She said, "Why do you use so much power? You're not facing a class. You are talking to one person." So a radio broadcaster, we have millions of audiences in the air, of course, a lot of listen. But actually, when you open your mouth, you're talking to just one person. So I become a more beautiful radio voice. We often say that we want our voices heard. It's not the natural voices that we cry like an animal, like a baby, as I said. It's the voices that we want people to hear. You need to be satisfied with your own voice first. Because if you are satisfied with your own voice, you are a confident person. Then you can change yourself and change the world. So this is how important and how we need to find our own voice. And then keep it there and work on it. And this is a lifelong mission. It is going to be with you. Because as you grow, your roles are different. From a child, a high school student, you become a young worker, employee in a company, and then you become mom and dad. And then you become a mature professional in some areas, a scholar, a teacher. And now you need to deliver a public speech. So your roles are changing. And the geographical locations you visit, you go, change. Let me tell you, when I was working in London, my accent, English accent is more British. And when I, worked in San Francisco, and I became a little bit American now. Everybody can understand me, but I emphasize on how I deliver the two functions. One is for information, ideas, and emotions to reach. The other is to enjoy the beauty of sound. As a public speaker, you need to remember several factors. Penetration. If you're facing a small group of people, you make sure they heard you. But if you're in a large, room, then definitely you're going to raise your voice. You're going to be louder. And the second, your voice needs to be confident as a public speaker. Affirmative. You're convinced of your content. You're sure about, even if you don't, believe in what you say, how can you convince others? And then we talk about vividness. As a teacher, as a public speaker, if your language is vivid, of course it's ear-catching. And humor is not a bad thing. But these sometimes are beyond voices we are talking about. But they contribute to forming your voice image. So voice image is so complicated. I call it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And it affects your life in every sector, every moment, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. So tell me, do you want a good voice? A beautiful one? And do you want people to understand you? Do you want to tell people who you are? Do you want to achieve self-actualization? Because we have different needs as Maslow's, hierarchy of needs. The very basic needs is stomach. Second, safety. And then you have a higher spiritual needs. Self-esteem. The highest is self-actualization. You want to become who you are. But the voice is who you are. The voice is part of who you are. So that voice has to be yours and yours only. Highly identifiable. Beautiful. So much for the importance of having your own voice, a personal voice image. And next, I'm going to talk about how we are going to get it. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.